taken this so far. We know we've got, you know, green lights. We know we're going down the river. You know, we know it's a flow, but there's been, you know, half a dozen of us working on this, and it's time to open it up to more people, get more push, get the river bigger and wider.
And right now, as we've communicated with a number of the politicians, this is one of the perfect times. There are many people who are in power in the county and in the government that are wanting to see something eco-friendly, environmentally friendly, move forward, that we can live in communities that are green, that we can live more than 5 people on the same property, that we can use bamboo as a building material, that we can use strawberry guava, which is a weed all over the place, but a perfect hardwood, that we could use it legally. And so that's the type of help that we're looking for.
July is the date when we need to have the resolution finalized, the wording of it finalized, to present to the county council. So part of what we're doing here today, and James has talked about a few of the details, is wanting to get feedback from people about particular wording.
Basically, the idea is what type of activities can people do here to contribute to what we're doing. What we've discovered, like the 6 of us working together over the last 6 months, is that we want to keep the momentum, and out of many voices comes the truth. Every one of you has different experiences, different stories, different contexts. It may have been a contact with officialdom, with the county. We want to hear about it. Even on that level of support, just going to the website and giving us your stories. If you have had a county visit, a building division inspector, something went wrong, or if you're just doing something that's positive, something that's environmental, something that's sustainable, something that is good for the ecosystem and for the Aina and for this beautiful place that we live in. Those stories are the types of things we need, because all of these things are part of the evidence that we're also presenting as we go forward with this legislation.
We move forward with the resolution and the ordinance. It's going to be important that folks contact their council member, an email, telephone call, and you relate things just like that when you do.
Just even to be a board member, so that you can come in to attend some of the meetings and give your input. Because we really see how much different voices, so many people have different things to offer that has made this thing keep going forward. You know, and it really is nice to have that feeling of support, especially when you do have your first contact with the county and you get those horrible letters saying, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. It's really nice to have the support of a community when it happens. So just on that level alone of sharing the experiences that you have in living in Hawaii would be great.
But I want to say that if anybody out here, or anybody you know, has built a structure, they're willing to have it not inspected, but to use it as a show house for this legislation. It's one of the things you could do, you know, to check in and to help us.
The demonstration, are you looking for, do you want the emails? Do you want people to show up and talk and give their thing? Do you want them to make you up a nice little video and say, here's how I live?
A nice little video of
a
place will be fine. Yeah, we don't anticipate getting, you know, the council members to come visit lots of places, but so video will work.
Video tours, like as you were saying, like you can submit videos to our website and we can post them.
Back behind me, there's a few sheets up there. We're going to need a group of people working on locally sourced building materials. They're out there. The county want to see this. You know, we're working with the county on this. You know, where are they? Who can mill them? What's the long-term availability? Some of you, heard about bamboo being planted in North Kahala by Billy Grimes, I think it is. And what's the future? We're looking for people to participate in that. And then the next one is I wrote design, safety, and health, but it's really getting a group of people together. This is contractors, architects, engineers, realtors. What kind of, what are we looking at here as guidelines for, you know, health and safety. We're looking at common sense here, not the UBC code. So we're looking for people to work on that one. Public relations, you know, as we go forward with this, you know, it's going to take more than, you know, people in the room here. We're going to have to reach out to the rest of the island in every way we can, just like they did with the Peaceful Skies Initiative. We got to do a grassroots campaign and drum up support. Obviously, you know, if we got lawyers out there, we need them. We need help raising funds, and anybody got any ins with any politicians or done any work like that, as most of us haven't, we could do with some help lobbying, you know.
And in terms of the committees, as Graham was saying, the types of work that you'd be doing in the committee would be pretty light stuff. A lot of it's internet related, some of it's based maybe at some of you have a particular interest in one of these areas because you have a particular expertise or know someone in particular. So you might want to work on it. And basically you're doing things like emailing, research, dealing with feedback, and you'll be invited to the board meetings. Which
all of you, if we have your email addresses, you know, about a committee hearing, a council hearing, I'm not quite sure how that is, but and where there's opportunity for testimony. You know, and that's when we as an organization will be presenting testimony, but you as individuals, that will count. That's where the, you know, public relations part comes in here, is reaching out to all of you and your friends and everybody who's concerned about this to come in and talk your story and questions.
There was one over here. Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily a question, but I was just everything you were saying. I've thought about for years, and as far as like not contesting the current zoning, but I always thought of like the approach of adding an experimental new zoning and calling it subsistence level living zone for those who choose to live more subsistence level, like you're saying, not needing, you know, and then couching it in all the reasons, like why be burdening young families with all this overhead, you know, in this area. So yeah, just those words of subsistence level living zone and low impact dwelling, just those words kind of going along with, you know, if we could define what is a low impact dwelling that that is not going to encourage that flipping over thing and that speculation that we were talking about.
Yeah, it's about affordability here and lower overheads. I think all of us who have built our own homes, you know that that's one of the big motivations: lower overhead, more affordable. And also, you know, the homestead model, until the UBC came along, the homestead model before that was all about, you know, building what you could afford and then adding on a little bit more and then a bit more. And, you know, the banks rarely came into that picture. And this is a big thing for us today with all these foreclosures going on, is we can address this. And in the county data book, you know, and it kind of addresses what you're saying. The monthly housing costs for somebody who's got a mortgage, right? This is the average around the island, is $1,688. Right. The average housing cost for somebody who's not on a mortgage, $323. Now, who is most likely to lose their home, right? So we've got this kind of information and support.